This is so weird, dude. So, the other day we had ourselves an update on Vladimir Tarasenko. Current, should I just say New York Rangers free agent? Yeah, let's just say Rangers. Former Ranger, I guess you could say. Tarasenko, free agent, and he was, at the time of this tweet, nearing a decision. Carolina and Ottawa were two of the teams in pursuit. We'll see where he ends up. We were all kind of under this idea that Carolina and Ottawa were the final two teams. That a few days ago it popped up and we were like, okay, well, he's either going to go to a younger, more inexperienced squad in the Sens, or he'd be going to an absolute powerhouse in Carolina. And either or, he's going to a destination where he is going to be valued. He's probably going to have some ability to produce points. He'll probably be given a role, and it's going to be cool. But that was 2 days ago, and things have not really changed since, because Tarasenko is still a free agent. He still has not signed with a team. But the newest updates that we have gotten have been very, very odd. Because earlier today, we had ourselves Andy Strickland saying this: Tarasenko is still considering multiple options. And this comes after we had ourselves more rumors that he had narrowed the field down to potentially Carolina or the Sens. There was a rumor popping up yesterday saying that he will sign with Carolina, that it's just a matter of time before the pen goes to the dotted line, but he's already committed to the Canes. But then Strickland said, yeah, no, he's still considering multiple options this morning. And a lot of people went out there in the replies saying, okay, yeah, got him, what's going on here, guys? Where are these updates coming from? Because all the different insiders are saying different things. And then we had Friedman. He said this about 2 hours ago: Vladimir Tarasenko has new representation. J.P. Barry and Pat Brisson of CAA. What this means is that there's no deal in place with any team, and the process of negotiating restarts today. Oh, you can't actually see that. My bad. It's cut off. There you go. There's the full tweet for you there. Let's actually, if we zoom out, how does that look? Can we do that? Yeah, okay, that looks a lot better. There you go. And so, yeah, when it comes to the Tarasenko situation, we went from believing that he had narrowed it down to 2 teams, to that he narrowed it down to potentially 1 team, to hearing that he actually did not narrow it down to anybody and he was still considering multiple options, to hearing now that he has new representation. He fired his agent and he hired some new folks. Here are some other tweets that I wanted to go over that talk about the situation here. Bruce Garriock says, J.P. Barry and Pat Brisson, Tarasenko's new representatives with CAA who were hired this morning, are reaching out to teams that were interested now. As Elliot Friedman noted, this pushes any previous negotiations back to square one, including those with the Senators and the Hurricanes. You then had Larry Brooks saying this: I have learned that Vladimir Tarasenko had multiple offers from clubs ranging from contenders to rebuilds in the $5.5 to $6 million per category at varying lengths. He rejected all of these deals. Carolina was one of them that he rejected, and then he fired his agent. Kind of strange. He had wanted to remain with the Rangers, but there simply was no cap space. And so, hearing this, that other teams were offering Tarasenko $5.5 to $6 million AAV on whatever contracts they would have given him, only for Tarasenko to say no to every single one of them and then firing his agent, methinks that he really just thought he could have gotten a bit more money, and this move is one wherein he'll likely try to get the negotiating done from a different perspective to get that dollar amount jacked up, because $5.5 to $6 million a season is pretty alright. I mean, for Tarasenko, he's a player that if he plays at his peak, he's probably worth a little bit more than that. But considering the NHL salary cap situation, where all these other teams are at the moment, and how far it's been into free agency, I mean, we're on day 5 now. It's almost been a week. It's not surprising to me to see that some teams don't really have the money to spend for a guy like $7 or $8 million in Tarasenko. Now, sure, you could say that the caliber of talent may not be the same as he had been before. Tarasenko has more to give, I feel. He's definitely not towards the tail end of his tenure being talented at the National Hockey League level. So we'll see if J.P. Barry and Pat Brisson are able to go out there and negotiate more of an acceptable deal in Tarasenko's point of view. You also had yourselves this right here from Andy Strickland saying, He's the guy, by the way, that said this at the very beginning of the day, that Tarasenko's considering multiple options. He retconned this and said this: bearing a sudden shift, and as always, things can change very quickly, my guess, and this is just a guess, not any rumor, insider information, whatever, is that the Alex DeBrincat situation has held up Ottawa from signing Tarasenko. Once he's moved, likely to the Red Wings, that will open up the door for Tarasenko to sign with the Sens. Now, this tweet was made before the Elliot Friedman announcement. Or actually, no, it was made after. Right, okay. So this kind of forms a little bit more of a puzzle piece as to what could be the entire holdup with this situation. If DeBrincat gets moved from Ottawa to Detroit, for example, does that open the door for the Sens to give Tarasenko a bigger money deal that's a little bit higher than that $5.5 to $6 million AAV category which reported by Larry Brooks? Now, if we go over to Tarasenko and his Elite Prospects page. Let's look that up right here. No, not Tarantino. Google, I'm not looking for Quentin Tarantino movies at this time. We're looking for Vladimir Tarasenko. There you go. Yeah, I know, I've been on a movie binge lately. I watched Death Proof the other day. I didn't think it was that amazing. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Tarasenko had a total of, 29 plus 21? That's 30 plus 20. 50 points in 69 games played. Wow, very nice amount of games played. Not bad, honestly. And when it comes to what he did last year, he was at 82 points in 75 games played. This is what I mean when I say that Tarasenko definitely is not washed up yet. Like, he's definitely still talented, and if you give a contract out to a guy who's at 82 points in 75 games, I mean, sure, he's a little bit on the older side, 31 years old, but anything in the 6.5 to 7, maybe 7.5 million AAV is not unreasonable in my opinion. You could say that the production falling off for this season is indicative of a lower dollar amount, but then again, the Blues, I think everybody on the Blues kind of fell off a little bit, and then in the Rangers system, he was playing with everybody else, with Panarin, with Zibanejad, with Kane, with Kreider. This is a stacked team, so seeing the distribution of points go the way that it did, it's honestly pretty fair, in my opinion, to see where the dollar amount comes from. Or, excuse me, not the dollar amount, the point production decrease comes from. Because at his best, Tarasenko is this guy. This is a career year for the guy, and he had accomplished that last season. 34 goals, too. Sure, he's had 40-goal seasons in the past, but he really amped up his playmaking in 21-22. So this definitely is a player, in my opinion, who still has what it takes to get maybe 70 points in a season, depending on where he goes, and whatever team, whether it's Carolina or Ottawa, gives him that contract, I feel like he's going to do what Tarasenko does, which is score goals, make plays, and get on the score sheet in very good capacity while doing so. So, depending on the contract that comes out here, we'll see whether or not it beats out the $5.5 to $6 million AAV contracts he was given earlier, whether or not his agency change actually does have an effect on these negotiations. But it is really strange just to see how everything goes. How Tarasenko was near the decision and now how he's restarting all the way back from square one with new representation. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What are your opinions about this Vladimir Tarasenko situation? How he now has new agents, how he's going to go out there and hope for the best in terms of the AAV. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How much do you think Tarasenko is worth? How much do you think he's going to be able to produce next season, whether that's with Carolina or with Ottawa? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.